Dang, we here.
No countdown. Trash.
I know. Yeah, I done the countdown the last couple of times, so it threw me off too.
Trash.
I was like, oh, we here. We're here.
Just as I thought.
Like,
Trash.
what?
I forgot what that was. It's some meme. Just as I thought. Trash. Used to be on TikTok or Reels all the time.
Man,
gotta find
I'm not on TikTok as much as I feel like I should be. I feel like I'm missing out sometimes.
No, it's a time waster. It really is. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
The way that I'll get stuck in like the Explorer or like popular whatever Reels thing in Instagram, I'm scared of Instagram. I mean, I'm scared of TikTok.
It's worse because it's newer. The Reels are like a week or two behind.
Yeah. I mean, which comment sections are easier to get to, Instagram or TikTok? Like in the moment,
Both.
same thing.
I think so.
Same thing. One button.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
okay, that'd be the thing for me. Like if I get stuck, it's the comments that like just if I laugh at a reel, if you laugh at a reel, you have to go see what the comments say.
That's
like,
funny.
I never
go to the comments unless I'm like, I don't understand what I'm looking at here. Like, what does this mean?
Oh man, no,
Yeah.
Gary. Next time you look at a reel and you laugh because you think it's funny, go to the comments because it will turn it up about 10 times. Because the first popular comments are gonna be so hilarious.
The first comment's gonna be funnier than the actual video, to be honest.
No, sometimes
Right,
you guys
'cause
put some stuff over and say, check out the comments. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, comments is where it's at, and I never understood it until recently. And sometimes you just gotta put your phone down and walk away. But how you guys been feeling? How you feeling?
I'm here.
Yeah.
You guys are a bundle of joy today.
I'm tired, but I had a good run today and just trying to get ready for next week. But
All right. What's next week? Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
next
something
week. What's next week? What's next
something
week?
different.
Gary?
A new week. Like a brand new week. Like literally it's just a brand new
Oh.
week. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about TRE.
That's next week.
That's next week.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, we have another
You're
week.
right.
Yeah.
Gary, I commend
No, we
you.
don't.
Just a little bit of inside baseball. Gary has been the person taking care of all of our scheduling and bookings and meetings for TRE.
Mm-mm.
His Google Calendar is tired. Zoom
Yeah,
is tired.
so-
All of that good stuff is tired because Gary is working it very hard.
It's
Oh,
worth
yeah.
thank you guys. I appreciate it. I do. I actually kind of enjoy it. It's more of a sometimes you have to get on a Google Excel, or get an Excel sheet and you just got to type in numbers. It can be relaxing, and
Yeah,
just knowing that it's programmed in, ready to go, and then we all jump on. It's kind of like just
for the folks that might be a little lost right now, we're going to the running event. Whenever Gary says we're going, I think it's next week, not like this week. The next week, like
next
literally
week.
Next
like
Tuesday, isn't it?
9 days from now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to TRE, which is in Austin. It's called the running event. It's where brands meet with retailers and media and all that stuff. We hosted TRE Live. We helped them launch and host TRE Live last year. We are back and better than ever. We are the announcement that we were talking about recently was FlowTrack.
Right.
FlowTrack will be handling the streaming of TRE Live, so it will be on FlowTrack's YouTube. It will be on their website, but it'll all
free.
be in front of the paywall.
Yeah.
Yes, for free in front of
Yeah.
paywall.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal because the eyes and the reach for FlowTrack is much bigger than anything that we've had going on. So that's going to be it's a great opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity for TRE, all that stuff. But so Aaron said, like, we're meeting with about, I think right now, 20 something different brands and companies and organizations throughout the 2 days that we're doing TRE Live. So make sure you tune into that. But Gary, just like last year, has been handling all of the correspondence back and forth with the brands and the companies and scheduling these meetings for us. when I tell you, Gary, I text you. What did I text you the other day? Like last week, Gary.
You just really appreciate the work, which I
Yeah,
appreciate you saying. Yeah.
because like the way that I will exit a group chat or a text message or an email when they say, "Hey, what day next week works for you?" I just get overwhelmed. I'm not sure how to answer that question. Like if somebody says like if I say like if you're like, "Hey, when do you want to do this?" and I ask you back like whatever works for you, let me know which day, and then you go, "Well," and then one more question deeper than that, I'm done. I can't even handle it. It's overwhelming. I don't get it. Just tell me
Yeah.
what day. I'll tell you yes or no. But you've been handling it. You've been doing a really great job, and we appreciate you, Gary.
I
We'll
have
buy
I
you
have
like
learned from my real job that you can't keep it open. You have to at minimum suggest a day and time. Otherwise, people are going to be like, I don't know. And it's not just you; it's a lot of people who just
mm.
do not want to answer that question because it's
my
overwhelming.
mom. My mom and my sister were like we were trying to figure something out, and then um they like said they asked me, and I was like, oh no, whenever, just let me know. As long as it's at this time, it can be any day. Let me know. And they're like, well, boo. And one more question. I was just like, exit. I killed the whole text app. Like, it's like literally overwhelming to me to think about calendar. I don't know why it's not that much that gets me like out of control, but that's it. It's like calendar items and stuff like that.
That's funny. But hey, real quick though, on the flow track thing,
Is it really funny? I mean, you
Steve's got a
moved
good
on
question.
pretty quick.
Steve's got a good question. Is flow track going to show the first half and the second half behind the paywall? No.
Yeah, first day is free. Second has behind the paywall. I don't know what to tell you guys.
But with the folks that we're interviewing, some pretty high quality guests here, so it's going to be worth your while to tune in and watch us. I don't think we can name them now, but they do have some rings, if you know what I'm saying. So join us.
They
Join us.
get rings.
They got some
LeBron James.
Some
LeBron
of them
James
have
will be there.
some of them have like a 5 rings. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, those rings.
Those
They've been
rings.
to the rings. They've been to the
Yeah.
rings because you can have rings without getting rings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is true.
So if you went to the Olympics, would you get a ring tap? Olympic ring
Absolutely.
tap.
Absolutely.
I might
Okay,
get
like
my face.
yeah, on your face.
Mm-hmm. I
Like
might get it right here.
Like a teardrop. That would actually be kind of fire though. Like smaller, you know.
They'd be like, "What did you go to the Olympics for?" I'd be like, "Overthinking."
Oh man, the gold medal in the overthinking category is crazy. Did yeah, okay, you would get it on the face. Where would you get it, Gary?
I probably get it on the arm. I have all my other 2 tattoos on.
Okay,
Somewhere.
all right. So
Probably like in the forearm or something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm going like neck tack.
They gotta be visible, right? Like you gotta
be seen.
You might as well do it all the way.
You can't be all like, oh, I'm gonna put it on like the back of my elbow, like so when I run, somebody sees. No, you gotta like it. Gotta be like, dang, you went to the Olympics. Like first sight, it gotta be like you went to the Olympics. Because with it being on your arm, Gary,
like the
if
fake glasses thing, like just a ring around here, the ring in the middle, like a cyclops, and then 2 more.
Oh, just like straight up, like yeah, that would be kind of crazy, Gary. But yeah, so yeah, the running event is the week after next, and we're there. We will be live. Make sure you join us. Make sure you follow along on Instagrams and stuff like that, so you see what's popping and how to tap in. We'll be sharing links and all that good stuff. Now would be a good time to ask us anything. If you have any questions, let us know. We will get to it. And also, here we go. Let's start with the questions. How do you guys taper for a marathon? 3 weeks, 10 days, and how much hard effort to leave in? Aaron?
It depends, question mark. No, usually for me, 10-day taper, big final workout 10 days out from race day, and then just a cut back on volume, but still keep the intensity pretty similar. So still, I still do a workout the week of, usually on Wednesday. Some turnover work, nothing super.
Told you, Gary. Look at Gary's face.
I don't remember that.
He never.
Maybe I get taper amnesia. Maybe I just have that. Is that a thing?
Yeah. He was trying to argue.
It's usually something simple like 4 by 800 or something like that. Like it's never anything crazy.
I honestly do not remember doing anything of that in that vein at all on the Wednesday before. Maybe
It might have been a Tuesday. It might have been a Tuesday. It
Maybe
depends.
Or Thursday, Gary. Whatever it is, Gary, you're wrong is the point.
Yeah, I'm telling you, taper amnesia. Hashtag
All right,
taper amnesia.
Sorry, Aaron.
Yeah, but it usually, I mean, obviously that has nothing. It has no bearing on your actual fitness. It's more so just to keep you in the routine of running and keep the idea of running fast on the front of your mind, because you don't want to just shut it down completely and then get to the start line on marathon race day and kind of forget what that feels like, what marathon pace feels like, or if you've just been running easy, it's kind of easy to forget what it feels like to run at pace. But also you don't want to push too hard because you want your legs to be fully recovered and at their freshest at the start line. So yeah, usually, but I do know other people that do more aggressive tapers. They'll kind of start ramping things down 3 weeks out. So it's a little bit of trial and error, whatever works for you best. And the best way to do it is just experiment and take notes, take copious amount of notes. Obviously, Gary doesn't write much down because he doesn't even remember the workouts that he do in the taper. But there's value in going back and checking old stuff and see what you did, see if you feel like it worked or if it didn't, and then you can tweak it from there.
And then follow your plan though too. I mean, because the plan up until this point or up until that point should have it situated where, like, if it's a 3-week taper, or a 10-day taper, or a 2-week, 14 days, it'll play out the way it's supposed to. Like it's like it should be like baking a cake. Like you need all the ingredients to be the right way. So if your coach or your method is 3 weeks, then just follow along, do your thing.
Right.
But typically, like Aaron said, like in the first week or two of the taper, if it's like a 3-week taper, the first 2 weeks is probably intensity stays up, but the volume drops down, so you can still go fast and run hard, but you're just much less volume. But yeah, follow the plan, do your thing, trust it though too, because even though it may feel weird, like everybody tapers different. Some people love the taper because they feel like rejuvenated. I've never liked the taper. I always feel like trash. And then typically by like a couple days before race day or on race day, I feel decent or good. So just try not to like add too many thoughts and schemes into your plan that you've been running this 14
Yeah, you're
weeks.
gonna have extra time to sit there and think, and you really should find something else to get your mind, to have your mind work.
Just chill out. Yeah.
Go get a puzzle or a crossword or something.
That's probably a good idea. All right. So we got another one. Alexis says, have you guys or anyone in the chat tried the new Nike Zoom Fly 6? We have not. I have not.
Same.
I would really like to. I've seen it. I'm like, what's up? Let's see how we can get this. So Nike, I know you watch Mr. and Mrs. Nike. I know you guys all watch this very much and avidly.
Phil Knight likes to watch the podcast. Watch the stream every Sunday. Nice.
Yeah, it's only 5 o'clock.
It's by the fireplace, and he watches us chat about running.
Barefoot.
So this time,
I've been told. I can't confirm, but I've been told.
This time, Phil, we're here for you. We shout out. Thanks for the viewership. Send some shoes to us. That'd be great. The Zoom Fly 6 to be exact. I had the Zoom Fly 3. I think it was. Remember they were like the green ones. Was that 3?
Yeah.
I think it was like Zoom Fly 3, and I loved those shoes. Like I put so many miles in those shoes. So I'm happy to. I'd be happy to get my hands on a pair of Zoom Fly 6s. They look nice. They look like they're kind of in the vein of like the Alpha Fly vibe. So I think, and I've seen people say that they like them so far. All right, Nike, come through. JT says, how does taper change for older folks like 50-year-old runners? Gary,
I don't know. I'm only 49.
Gary's not 50. Gary's only 49, so he doesn't know. JT,
I don't think it should change. I think if you have a strong plan, you follow your plan, and you're healthy, and you come into your taper healthy, no matter if it's 3 weeks or 10 days or a week and a half. I don't think it really matters that much. If you put in heavy mileage, and that's part of your plan, you taper accordingly. I don't think age really enters into it.
You know what Leah said, Mark says he has found that AJ nothing but a number. Mark said that I have found the 1.5 week taper is good. Longer, if it's longer, I feel slow at marathon pace. That's the thing we're saying too. Like after you've done this a bunch of different times, even if you have a coach, you can say like, "Hey, this doesn't. The last 2 times we did this, or what last time we did this didn't feel right. So let's tweak it here and there." But I think you always want to know what you want to know what that taper looks like well before the taper. Like you want to know what that taper is going to be like before you even start the plan, because you want to build things into it so you arrive at taper week ready to taper.
Yeah.
Don't change anything because of anything you hear. Like don't try anything new on race day. Don't try anything new 3 weeks out from a marathon.
That's true.
Yes.
And the most important comment so far is "Let's go Lions."
Playing tonight, right now.
They're playing. They probably just kicked off or something like that. Right? What are we seeing, Aaron?
I'm seeing a skyline of Houston on my screen right now.
Okay,
So
that's nice. I've heard a lot of people like went down to Houston because it's like it's much harder to get tickets here. It's easy to get tickets in Houston.
My brother-in-law is there right now, and he said that the Lions fans are drowning out the Texans fans even before the game starts.
Yeah, they're panning to the crowd, and there is definitely a lot of Honolulu blue out there. So
yeah,
that is so crazy.
I think Lions fans from this year and what I've seen last year, they travel well.
I mean, when have you ever met somebody from Detroit that was reasonable?
But then also, like at this point, like I'll fly to Mars to see a good game for the Lions play. Like we've been waiting on all this time. Like they're happy. Like okay, if I can't get tickets at home, Houston's an easy flight. We're going. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. No, I agree. You got to take advantage because there's no historical precedence of the Lions ever being this good. So there's no guarantee that it'll ever happen again. So
yeah, that's
got to take advantage if you got the money.
Yeah, you could take it. Wait, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
There's no Detroit hate. What is the hate?
What's going on? Hey, listen, we gotta start booting people out the chat here. What's going on?
I just said y'all not reasonable. That's not hate. That's just
yeah.
That's not reasonable.
But listen. So the one thing is, this is like if you're like a Patriots fan, at one point you could completely, like you could just kind of sleep for a year and then go like, okay, next year it'll be fine. We don't know this. This could be. I mean, obviously it didn't work out. It didn't work out.
I'll say this
because they suck now.
I'll say this. Yeah, before the Patriots became the Patriots that we knew, they were like the Lions. They stunk. Yeah.
That's true. So, but they had a long run.
Yeah,
it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have that Patriots or that like Alabama Crimson Tide type, legacy. But let's just get one first, and then we'll worry about like next year.
Yeah. So basically buy that ticket to Houston and go. Who they play after this? Do we know? I mean, obviously you guys know. Oh yeah, that's an easy flight.
But I think they play in Detroit. Easy flight.
Oh, that's the easier flight.
That's the easier flight. Whatever, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, easier flight. All right, let's get to the things of the hour. Some marathons have been run. This is how marathon season still, because there's still a couple more. We had Indy last weekend. We had New York City before that. We have CIM in 2 weeks. Something like that. No, it's probably 3 weeks. It's probably 3 weeks. Because it's after. Yeah, it's in December. So
after all the turkey trots and all of that good stuff.
No, because a lot of people used to go from TRE. Like TRE was normally the week of.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Megan Murray did that last year.
Yeah. Confuzi always does it. But yeah, so let's jump into the New York City Marathon vibes. New York City Marathon was 2 weekends ago, so 7 days ago today, and it was amazing. The vibes were all there. Super busy city. I tried to remember all the race travel tips that we talked about. It's such a difficult place to not do too much. Like the expo, the everything, it's in this borough and that borough, and it's like even if you're on in Manhattan, on the island, you're it's still a
20
decent
blocks,
distance.
20 blocks this
Yeah,
way.
20 blocks that
20
way.
blocks that way. Yeah.
And then if you're in the wrong spot, you go like, okay. And if you don't want to Uber everywhere, because every Uber is $50-$60, just like, how do I get here? Then it's you take the train, and then the train is sometimes you just they just say just walk 15 minutes, you'll be there, because it's gonna
Right,
take
because the
you
trains don't cross
10.
town. The
Yeah,
trains go north and south. They don't go east and west. So either
which
then.
is dumb, which is just dumb. But one time, so after the after party, I left the after party on Sunday, and I'm like, I think it was like $75 to get back to my, like, for an Uber. I'm like, I ain't doing that. Like, that just seemed crazy when I could just pay $2 and get to go to the train. So I go down to the train and I like ran because it's like 2 minutes, right? I make it there with like a minute to spare per the app. And this is marathon night. So like I'm running with it. It wasn't even there. And I waited, like, it was like, okay, 10 more minutes. And then I waited 10 more minutes and it wasn't there. And then a bunch of people like Mo and a bunch of other people came, like they ended up leaving the party way after I did, obviously. So I had been there by 20 minutes by the time they got there. We waited 15 more minutes just to find out that my train was already done for the day. And I got on the train with them, and because one of the guys like kind of knew, like, if you get off here, you're just gonna have to walk over. But I was like, it took me like 45 minutes to get home that night. Just from and I wished I paid the $75, but it ended up being all right, but I didn't get home for like 45 minutes. So
You stay at the same
New
place?
York is one hotel.
Yeah.
The New Yorkers would be mad right now if they heard you slander MTA. They love MTA.
I mean, I loved it until like that moment,
I mean, I get it. If your
And
train's done for the night and you don't know
That's
it.
a joke. They hate it.
I didn't know.
But,
I mean, they seem to love it, bro. they be on there.
Very slanderous
I saw-
things about.
see, I would have walked regardless. And you know that.
No.
That's what I did last year.
Oh no, I think
Gary
you
is
walked
a
for a
wild.
different reason. I think Gary was.
I walked for a
Gary
couple
was
reasons. But one of them was
Gary-
I love the city. And I love to walk around the city.
Gary was saying, "quote Y'all getting on my nerves." No, so like it worked out every day except for like that moment, and it was just like, because I didn't know what to look for, like how to know, and then they need to fix the speaker system because nobody knows what you're saying, bro.
You're never gonna get HD sound in there.
Yeah. That's exactly
You
what
could
it
have
sounded
stopped
like.
one of the thousands of rats down there, and they would have been able to
I
give
was-
you the entire thing.
I was just-
Look, bro, this is what you gotta do, my G. You go this way, and then you go this way, and you'll
Bro,
be straight. Trust me, I did it a
bro.
1,000 times.
Bro, that train stopped an hour ago, bro. What you mean? But yeah, there was definitely rats the size of, there was some big rats I saw, and
Rats
I'm
the
like,
size of rats.
I'm glad you're on the other side, because anyway. But it was a good vibe. Anyway, can we talk about the race, guys?
Question.
The race was good.
My first question about the race.
Go.
Was Eric Adams there?
Yeah. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
I say,
Oh, really?
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't there. Yeah. It was like somebody, a deputy mayor or whatever. But yeah, so he wasn't there. But it was a great morning. The weather was like, it was like 40, like low 40s, kind of chill. It was actually really cold. Like it was much colder than it was last year. Where people were like unprepared because like how chilly it was. Like it was like that brisk cold, like breezy, chilly. So I officially have run all of the colors. There's pink, orange, and blue. The orange and blue starts on top of the bridge, just on two different sides, and then the pink is under. So this year I ran under the bridge, and they all have different routes until like mile 3 and 5.
Yeah.
But so luckily Silas is one of the 3 people that won the giveaway for the New York City Marathon thing that I did back in the summer. And he wanted to run 3:15. Luckily, he was in the same wave or color line as me. So we just linked up in the corral area and went out at 3:15 pace and just kind of like tucked in near like the 3:15 pacer. And it was just a really good vibe. Like that was probably, it ended up being one of the most fun races that I've ever like had like ran, Just the crowds were amazing. Obviously it's New York City. The weather was just like basically perfect for like this, for running. Had a chance to like really run a marathon without caring, I guess, what happened to me or my time, like, so I feel like I was, he didn't end up hitting his time, but then at that moment, it was like, I'm kind of happy he was, because I wasn't feeling like I could probably run through 15 that day. Like, I thought I was going to maybe get to like maybe 20, and just go as far as I could. If he was feeling great, I would have just let him leave, because it just wasn't working out. Like, it just didn't feel right. And I didn't want to hurt anything, kind of playing around. But it worked out perfect, for me, because like I had to stay with him. And then this other guy named Garen Weeks, he's on Instagram. He hit me up like a week before the race, was like, hey, I heard you're gonna run through 15. I'd love the opportunity to run with you. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, and I just, didn't think anything else of it. He taps me on the shoulder in the corral, like right before, like not even in the crowd, but like literally as we're lining up on the bridge. And he's like, it's me, I'm Garen. I'm like, oh, hi, what's up? Let's go. I'm a Garen. But like, it was cool because when the race didn't go like me and Silas thought it was gonna go, Garen never left. He didn't like say, oh, okay, it was cool, peace. He stayed with us the whole time. And at one point, like, Silas was like cramping up really bad, so he gave Silas his family gave him a salt water, for just in case, like a mile 20. And he gave it to Silas. Like, no, you're good. You take it. Like, he stayed with us every time if we needed to walk, he walked with us. Like, it was dope. It was just a real cool vibe. Silas was pissed, but at the end, like a little after, he realized, like, you know what? Like, this isn't 3:31 on a course like this, given the PR on a bad day like that. You can't really be too mad at that. So it was just
was that a PR for him?
No. His PR is like 3:18 or something like that.
Okay.
But he was going for a PR, but but it was a good day. New York is terribly tough. Like, New York is a hard race.
It's a buzzsaw.
Yeah, it never stops. Like, and luckily I just wasn't engaged like into that point where I had to like think about it much, but I definitely could. Running it a different way, it's very eye-opening. Like, it's the course literally never stops working against you. It's just it's incredible. But so apparently it was quieter in like certain spots of the race. You know how when you come up a Queensboro Bridge, you bang that left, and it's like deafening, like just crazy, right? It wasn't.
Well,
it was just,
the last couple of years it was there, the weather was very, very nice for spectators to be out there. But if you said it was chilly, that might keep some people out.
Kind of people. I mean, there's a lot of people there. It was a lot of people, it seemed like, but it just wasn't like as like crazy. At certain spots it was, but right there was that I kind of, you can hear the screams as you're coming down we could hear it, but it was actually under like the boogie, under the bridge was people that were making the noise. But that first big turn, it was kind of like where everybody was there, but they were just like looking like they was tired by the time we got there. I don't know, but the race was a great vibe. I was happy to be there, happy to support somebody else. It was my 6th major of the year. So it was like it felt like a victory lap type of vibe for me. I was just enjoying the process, enjoying the run. It was like a perfect way to end it. And like, I just really couldn't have been happier with the weekend, just in general. Shout out to New Balance for obviously the invite and the hospitality and all that stuff. Big shout out to Release Recovery Foundation. I raised money for Release Recovery. They had nothing to do with my bib though. So like, it was any money that went to that I raised just goes fully to their thing. They didn't have to pay for a bib at all for me. Like, that was already off to the side. Big shout out to them. I joined them on the shakeout run. It was just kind of like really cool to connect with the recovery community in that way. And they're just doing really great work. And some of the stories that were told in the shakeout, like the shakeout was more of a talk than it was a shakeout. Like, they kind of talked a lot beforehand and introduced a few different people whose like, family members passed who have been running with them for 4 years now, but because of like, overdose or something like that, but they've been running with them for 4 years. It's just like some really deep, like touching stories within that organization, obviously, because it's an organization meant to help people get into rehab. So a lot of life-changing things have happened in and around that foundation. So big shout out to them. So it was a great weekend. I'm happy. Thanks to everybody that watched it and supported and followed along and stuff like that. And shout out to Silas, Mickey, and Patterson, who were the ones that won. They all finished the race. They all got their medals, and they all had great races. So happy to be involved in all that.
That's super dope. That's super
Yeah.
cool that you're being a conduit in the running industry and using your voice and your platform to help other people and help people experience things that they may not get the chance to experience. So hats off to you for that. That's really cool.
No, it was dope. It was dope, and it was cool just to be there and actually like witness it happening and kind of like say what up to each of them to kind of make it real, like, because it's like the influencing thing is kind of weird. It's like you're influencing people, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't feel like it matters because it's just like you're influencing them to buy a shoe or buy a thing. But when you're able to use whatever you have, to help someone else, like that's a vibe. Like when you make your graphics or art for somebody that may not necessarily be privy or like have someone like you at your skill level at their disposal typically, and they're not going to pay $500,000 whatever for a graphic. You do something like that to help somebody. It's like, oh, like it just feels different about, okay, I actually help somebody with the thing that I've been blessed with, so it was a vibe to be able to like witness that in person.
Yeah, that's really cool.
All right, get to talking. Your turn. So this weekend, after 7 days after New York, or 6 days after New York, because that threw me. That whole Indy on a Saturday thing throws me off. I don't know why they do that. Do you know why?
Probably because the Colts are very popular in Indy, and the race starts literally. You could see the football stadium from the start line, so they probably don't want that much stuff going on. They can't shut down the streets if it's a football game. So
no, yeah.
I would imagine that probably has something to do with it.
So your date got pushed because of the Colts to Saturday. Talk to us about your Indy Monumental marathon. I said it.
I'm so proud of you. So I had a somewhat controversial post on Threads the other day, and this marathon weekend definitely drove home that I am in the right. So I posted that running amongst 56,000 people in a marathon, in a big city marathon like that, is not really a flex to me personally, because I think the cons outweigh the pros of a race that large. And people really took offense to that. And I think it's because I didn't communicate my actual point correctly. Is that what I was trying to say is I have a preference for small or medium-sized races over large races. And Indy was like the perfect like example why. So Indy is this medium-sized, I would say, city in the Midwest.
How many people is it in Indy race? Do you know?
I think they had 16,000 finishers across the half and the full and the 5K. So not the 40, 50,000 level that the majors draw, but also not terribly small like a local race. Is I would say it was pretty much on par with the Free Press in Detroit or Eugene. It's kind of in that same vein, right? So the weekend was really cool. We drove down on Friday morning, got there Friday afternoon, went to the expo. The expo is downtown at the convention center. Everything is just like super convenient downtown, within like walking distance. They got this big building that last year when I went had Colts advertisement on it. But this year, since Taylor Swift was in town last weekend, there was a 100-foot decal of Taylor Swift on the side of the car. It was crazy. She was lording over the city. It was quite a sight to behold. So we get there. I went with my brother Jared. He was he was my driver / support / emotional support / brother. He did so much for me. So we get there, we parked, and first thing we did was go to the expo. I picked up my bib, and I just wanted to be in and out. It wasn't a super huge expo, but of course they still make you walk all the way to the back so you can walk past everything and be tempted to buy things. So we did that, and then we took a quick checkout run, a little 3 miles. That was cool. We saw people filming Mr. Beast style content videos. It's interesting. Downtown Indy is an interesting place. But That was
What,
cool.
what do you mean? Like they were like challenges? The Mr. Beast
No, it was just a
challenges?
guy. It was two guys, and they were standing by each other, and you seen the cameraman, and he's just talking in this super like dramatic voice. We're gonna and it was just like this guy thinks he's Mr. Beast. Like
We're gonna run the marathon with no training, like that kind of.
yeah, that kind of that definitely that kind of brand of video. But it was cool. So fast forward, race day. I stayed probably 4 or 5 miles outside of downtown because I was being cheap and I didn't want to have to pay for a hotel room on short notice. So I got a little Airbnb that was, it may have been in the hood, but that ain't bad all the time. So we left from there, parked about a mile away from the start line, did the warm up over. I had, this is a pro tip right here. And I don't know, this might not be applicable to all races, but sometimes it's pretty difficult to get a porta potty before a race, especially the more people in the race, the tougher time it might be. So we were almost to the start line, and I seen out the side of my eye that it was a hotel, a Hilton right here. And I'm like, I can go in this hotel and use that bathroom. I'm sure of it. Went in the hotel, it's people all in the lobby, runners all in the lobby. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a line. Get to the bathroom, nobody in the bathroom. Beautiful, took care of business. Soon as I came out of the hotel and got back on the street that took you to the start line, saw the porta potty line. We were 20 minutes out from the start. I think I'm pretty confident in saying that some of the people in that porta potty line did not get to use the bathroom, or they did not make the start of the race. One of the two, because that porta potty line was long, and it was like prime, like right there next to the start. So I'm sure there were other porta potties that you could have got to, but these were like the first ones you see when you get there. People just jump in that line automatically. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we got there. Like I said, I got there about 20 minutes before the start of the race. Corrals were still open. There wasn't any problems getting into the corral. Nice signage. Lady with the Wave A sign. Wave A, come in right here. Went in about 10 minutes before. Saw Marquise. That was cool. I didn't ask him what he was aiming for because I knew it was something ridiculous. So
hey, shout out to Marquise, man. Bro, that's a PR right there for sure. Dude just dropped a 113. Yes.
I was just thinking, bro, he ran 113 flat.
I
would be so mad. Because
one more second, you'd have been a 112 guy.
Yeah, and it's a whole different thing, but still 113 insane.
You got to dive across. And then to think about it though, if you run 113, that means you probably crossed the start line like right there too. So he probably saw the 113 click. You know what I mean? Like, because if you start if you farther back, your whole time is off anyway, so it doesn't even matter what the clock say. But I guarantee he saw that 113 click over, like
for sure. So we're at the start line. I see a couple other people. I'm trying to stay loose. I'm just talking, chatting it up with people, and then I hear this audio recording of what sounds like a sporting event, but I wasn't sure what it was. And then I finally could tell. I'm like, oh, this is the TV call of Cole Hocker's gold medal finish, because Cole Hocker was the master of ceremonies for the marathon. He was there because he's an Indy native. So that was cool. That was kind of cool. People, people cheered for him and showed love that he was there. He had a fireside chat the night before. I wasn't able to make it, but I heard that was really cool too. So it was cool to be in the presence of such a such a well-respected and outstanding, courageous runner like Cole Hocker. It wasn't the first time, we've seen Cole
was it
out,
was it my epic call from my Instagram, or was it like
it was actually it was like I don't know if I don't know if you get royalties for that, but you should, bro. You should get paid for that.
I think my call was better than the one on TV. I guarantee it.
So all of that was, and that's just before the race started. So that was cool. Started the race. I felt like crap right off the bat. Boom.
Those are the best days.
I felt like crap, bro. I'm like, I had some very dark thoughts. So mind you, for the last 4 weeks, I've been kind of training under this cloak of darkness. I haven't really been telling people that I was running. I turned my Strava off. I don't know if y'all knew or not, but if you walk in your bedroom, it's like a light switch. and it say Strava, and you can just turn your Strava on and off. So I turned my Strava off. It's a green light, orange light, so yeah, big orange light switch. Turn my Strava off. But I say that to say, I've had some good workouts. I've had some good long runs. My coach wanted me to focus on fast finish long runs in this little small space that I had in between Chicago and Indy. So I had a good 18-mile long run a couple weeks ago where I finished the last 4 miles at marathon pace, and it felt good. So I felt prepared going into it, but I kind of got, literally and figuratively punched in the chest early on because for the first 3 miles, I just felt this tightness, this weird tightness in my chest that I couldn't explain. I couldn't figure out why it was going on. And I started thinking like, maybe it's just not the day. Like maybe this is, maybe I trained for too long. Maybe, I'm overtraining. Maybe I'm burnt out. Like, I had all these thoughts, and I'm just like, hey, maybe I'll just like drop out like halfway, like whatever. I'm like, if I keep feeling like this, I don't even know if I'm going to try to like push through or whatever. But I kind of reframed my mindset, and I was just like, weather the storm. It's not going to be this bad the whole time. Just get through it, get through this portion, and reassess later on. So I get to like mile 6, and everything kind of started to ease up and started feeling normal. And I was in a pack. I was with the 3-hour pace group until like mile 3, which was kind of weird because I was running a little bit ahead of 3-hour pace. So I think the pacer was doing the thing. Yeah, but he ended up pulling back. When we crossed the 5K mark, I think they realized that they were a little hot because she's like, yeah, we're like 20 or 30 seconds ahead. We should back off. And that's kind of a lot. That's kind of a lot when you think about it. 30 seconds ahead through 3 miles.
Per mile?
No, but total. That's a 10-second difference per mile. So they pulled back, and I stayed with a group. And I got to get this lady's bib number because she was a heck of a runner. We went through, and then I stepped on a used goo pack, right? On my left foot. And I'm like, I like scraped my foot against the ground a couple times and it didn't come off. And I'm just like, no way. I'm about to run this whole race with a goo pack stuck to the bottom of my shoe.
Like boom, slap, boom, slap. Yeah.
Like it was terrible. I don't know when it came off. Eventually it came off, but for the first, 30 seconds that it was on there, it was really bothering me. I'm like, this is not going to go well.
It ain't nothing like that loogie. It ain't nothing like that loogie that hit my kneecap that one time, and I just felt it there for like a mile or two. It wasn't my loogie. It was some lady in front of me. She was like, huh, huh. And I saw it come over her shoulder, and I felt it hit my kneecap.
That lady grew up to start the Hawk Tour podcast. So my strategy was for the first 10 miles, I was going to try to stay as close to 650 as possible. And for the second 10 miles, I wanted to cut down to 640 pace per mile and then see where I was at for the last 10K and just try to thug it out. So I've never done this before, but on my watch, I had it set for lap pace, manual lap pace. So I had to hit the manual lap in order to get a readout. I usually do that, but I usually lap at every mile marker. This time, I'm like, I'm not even going to touch it until mile 10. I'm just going to let it run. I'm just going to let it run and count total time, lap time, and lap pace. So that's what I did. But also in my head, I had an idea of where I needed to be for certain markers. I knew like 650. I knew 3 miles I should be at 20:30 or something like that, right? So I kept that in mind. I get to the 10-mile mark, and I knew I was supposed to hit mile 10 at 1:08:20. I got to mile 10 at 1:07:50 something, around that. So a little ahead of pace, but right where I needed to be. That was great. Finished my first bottle, tossed it, and just, kept going right along. I felt smooth. I didn't feel like it was I was pushing too hard. Weather was perfect. Weather was absolutely gorgeous. Just like you said, Tommy, it was low 40s, not a lot of sun, no precipitation. It was just like a perfect day for racing. So I hit the lap button. I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm right on pace. So we take on the second part of the second 10 of the marathon. and things started to get a little more hilly, but I didn't feel like I was like I had to push like super hard. Like I'm like, okay, I know when it feels like I'm going up a hill because it feels more difficult, but I didn't feel like I was overexerting myself. And I saw Jared at 13. He passed me off my second bottle, flawless bottle handoff. That was great. That was my first time.
Did you do this? Yes.
Yeah, he was. And then that was cool.
Yes.
I was super happy to see him. It was cool. He was literally the only person on the entire course that I saw that I knew, which is kind of different from like how we're used to running races because it's pretty common to see people we know on the side, but he was the only person I knew. So it was refreshing to see somebody. So I keep going. And then I get to like mile 16. We're going down this super long street. Because one thing about Indy, it's two just like super long straights, like 4 or 5 mile straights where it's just like going. And
do you like that? Do you like that?
I like it early. I would say I like it early in the race because you can kind of tune out and not have to worry about anything. But later in the race, it starts to feel like this is never going to end. Like
Chicago has a little bit of that.
Yeah. It's like this is the longest street I've ever ran on in my life. So we run it in a street that's one of the lanes is cut off just for us, but they're still operating traffic in the other 2 lanes. So I'm running and I hear a car in the lane closest to us hit the horn and it terrified me. I'm like, what? And I look over and it's Jared in my car. I'm like, cool, thank you. And he rode next to me for maybe like a half a mile.
You should go back to your chorus and see where your heart spikes. Like,
and this was like mile 16 or so. So it was cool. It was cool to have him there. I was thinking like, how could like what can I do right now that'll make this easier for me? But it really wasn't anything.
Get in the car.
No, it wasn't nothing.
Get in the car.
Hop on the back.
Get in the car.
So that was cool. Got to mile 18, 19, and it was still going well. I was running around the same people for like so long. Like I would pass them a little bit, they would pass me a little bit, and it didn't like occur to me in my head to just be like, "Yo, we should just like link up and all run
together." Yeah, it never happens.
But everybody was very much so in their own world. So I get to mile 20, my nemesis, and I see the mile 20 mark, and it wasn't just like a mile marker. They had like this big like inflated like thingy. It said mile 20, and I'm just like, man, they making a big deal out of this. And then
I want you to know,
like this couldn't just be a low key mile 20. They had to make it a thing. So, but I just kept rolling, and it felt good. I felt strong. I'm like, this is usually where it falls apart, but I still feel strong. I still feel good. I took my last caffeine Morton. The only caffeine Morton of the race. I took it at mile 20. It was funny early on. We were at like mile 8, and this guy's like, the elite hydration station is coming up. And I'm just like, if the elites are with us at mile 8, they probably don't need their hydration anymore because something went wrong.
Yeah.
Like something went terribly wrong. But whatever. I just thought that was funny.
I've thought about that. Like sometimes like in races, you'll pass like the elite station and it'll still be bottles on the table. And I'll be like, I mean, I might as well just grab one of these bottles.
Because they don't need them no more. They clearly don't need them no more.
Yeah,
but when I say these,
it's not like it's leftovers. We're like, no, I need that back for my next race.
I'm gonna circle back. Yeah, like I feel like that person either just missed it or that person is at home already because they DNF'd or something.
Yeah,
you should have just grabbed a bottle.
And it was crazy because they had 6 elite hydration tables, and there was nothing left on any of them. So I'm like, okay, everybody's doing their job because there was one at 8 and there was one at 20, and all of them were cleared out. So I'm like, okay, well, things are going well for the elites. Things are going well for me. This is a good sign.
Yeah.
So I get to about 23, 24. This is a long story. I don't know if I want to details like
this. I'm here with you, bro.
Yeah.
So at about 23, 24.
Steve said I'm from around the way I'm leaving with something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We grab one real quick.
We grab one.
You gotta grab the most attractive looking bottle though. You can't grab the one that's like taped up with like some nonsense on it. It got to be a sponsored bottle.
Yeah.
It got to be a Nike bottle or something. Oh, I don't know. That might have some illegal.
Shout out to Phil watching the show.
Hey Phil. So yeah, at about mile 23, 24. Yeah, we're on a first name basis. At about mile 23, legs started, hamstrings kind of wanted to cramp a little bit, calf kind of wanted. I had a few steps where I stepped down, and I feel like if I would have completed the step onto the ground, my calf would have locked up. Mm-hmm. So I was just running as gingerly as possible, but I'm like, I'm not stopping. Like, I'm not stopping. And then I saw the 3-hour pace group at about 24 and a half. And I'm like, go ahead, just stick with them. Just stick with them. There was no gas left in the tank. Just stick with them. They were moving too swiftly. And then, so I make the last turn. I see Jared, and he just like, dig deep. Just go. Just keep going. Just keep going. And I'm like, all right. So I make that turn, see the finish line. I see 3:02 on the board. And I'm just like, dang, man, here we are again. So cross the finish line, and like right off, like as soon as I crossed the finish line, I put my hands on my knees to kind of like gather myself, and like my oblique on my right side, it just like locked. Like I've never cramped right there, and it just felt like somebody just like punching me right in my ribs, and it was so painful. And I'm just like, I'm glad this is happening now and not on the course, because I wouldn't been able to run if this would have happened. So that was crazy. That never happened to me before. And then I saw this guy. He came up to me and he's like, "Hey, man, you were right on it. Like I was behind you for most of the race, and you were just 6:45, 6:45, 6:45, 6:45." He was like, "You did a really good job." And I'm like, "Thank you." I'm like, "Did you hit your goal?" And he was like, "Yeah, I ran 2:58." And I was like, salute, my brother. Salute. Yeah. I'm happy for you.
You're like, I'm glad I can help you. I mean, where were you when I needed you? Like, obviously, I paced you for 20-something miles, man, and then now you got the moment.
And you don't say, "Come with me."
Crazy, right? Crazy, because I didn't see him. He must.
He gave you a pat. He gave you a pat on the shoulder, like, thanks, good job. Go.
But overall, I was very satisfied with my effort. Satisfied with the grit and determination that I showed. I didn't bail out when things got rough. There was a few times, like I said, early in the race and later on in the race, where I kind of got into that dark headspace, but I was able to pull myself out. So yeah, there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this one. 3:02:26 is my second fastest marathon after Dearborn in the spring. So I ran my fastest and my second fastest marathon this year. Beat Jacksonville by 6 seconds. So that was kind of cool. What was that?
Yeah, man. No, I said trending.
Yeah, trending for sure.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like, I mean, because it's like we look at it like we're going after these goals. Like, you know, like even like if I use my races as an example, like we got this one goal that we go for, and then we miss the goal by, like, in our opinions, by so much, you know. And it is tough to miss your goal by like 10 minutes or something like that, because in your mind, like 10 minutes is a lot, because you normally you make that 10 minutes up in like the last like 10 miles or 10K, you know. So it feels like the worst day of your life, but then you look at the time and it's like, okay, this ain't that bad. Like this is actually a very good time, you know. Like this is the time by itself without the expectation and the whatever and the ego. Like this is a good time, especially compared to all the rest of my races. Like I'm mad at a race that's not even, like, literally I was mad at Berlin, and it's like at the time it was like my second fastest race or third fastest race of like to date, you know. So like, how was we mad about stuff like that? But I'm glad that you walked away, like, you know, it wasn't the plan or the A goal, but you fought through it and still got like B goal. You still had a good race, and you still, you know, came close to your PR, you know. So I'm happy that you walked away with it, like, upset but still wanting, you know, but still happy and proud, you know what I'm saying, of what you did that day, because only you know, like, the fight that it took for you to get that time too, because like nobody knows what you're going through out there unless, you know, until we get to hear it on PR Project, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah,
and so again, I think it goes back to, I mean, this is what your fourth or third or fourth bonus.
It's fourth for the year. Is this the fourth for a year?
No, but like just bonus marathons.
Oh, this is my third bonus marathon.
And each one's been faster, which is
every time.
Yeah, which is really a testament to to strength and grit right there, and I think you're onto something. I think with fresh legs, maybe you'll overcome that goal you're looking for or achieve the goal. But honestly, just to be able to, again, faster each and every time, that says something for sure.
Yeah. Well, happy for you. Happy for you. You snuck off real quick and had a good race. What's next? You think you'll do something in the spring or?
Yeah. So my spring is going to be a fast half. I want to try to see if I can reach 80 minutes in the half marathon. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, a good opportunity comes across the table for a fall marathon, and I'm able to really have that breakthrough I'm looking for. But if not, it is what it is. But that's the tentative schedule for now. And then also just continue to do other races. I know I'm gonna do the Run Elf Run in Pontiac on December 7th, the 5K. Even if my legs aren't ready to run a 5K, I'm still gonna do it because I won it last year. I got to go back and at least act like I'm defending my throne or whatever.
Bro, yeah, don't let like a lady named like Matilda beat you or something like that.
But while we're still on Indy, I kind of wanted to flex my splits real quick. So like I said, I lapped my watch at 10:20, and then 23, and then at the end. So the first 10 miles was 107.38. Second 10 miles was 107.34. And then the last 10K was 47:30-ish. So, and also I think it's cool. Indy has the breakdown. They show you your first half and your second half. First half, I ran 128 and change. Second half, I ran 133 and change. So, man, so close. It was right. I was right there. Just got to put a few more things together and things will go my way.
Yeah, no, you got it. You got it. Speaking of you got it, Gary, you've been itching at doing these workouts and doing some good mileage. We knew you're running the turkey trot. What's the update? How you feeling? You still feeling like you're going after the turkey trot?
Yeah. I was sick the past couple of weeks, so like my mileage went down. But this week I got up to 54 miles, which I'm pretty good. Yeah, not too bad. And now looking at my schedule for the next 3 weeks, she set my coach, Melissa Johnson White, set my schedule through the turkey trot. So I got some really good 5K workouts coming up, getting ready for this. I'm excited. I know we're going to be in TRE, so I'll have to make some adjustments to be able to stay on track, but still get the work in. But I'm looking forward to this good fitness test to see where I'm at so we can start planning for the spring for sure.
All right.
If you need bike support, Gary, I'll be there.
Hey, we had a good
two electric bikes.
Oh yeah, you can do e-bikes on a course at any time.
Anywhere.
That's part of the rules. You're allowed to do that.
You make ban no more turkey trots for the rest of your life. You're out.
You're banned from every turkey trot in America.
Man, if you get banned from all turkey trots in the United States, that is crazy. Bro has to like sneak over to Canada to do a turkey trot. When is their Thanksgiving?
October, right? I think it's in October.
That's wild. You gotta do a turkey trot in October just to run a turkey trot. Jesus.
Good news, eh?
Man, getting banned for eternity is crazy work. Somebody said we don't even have to go here. Somebody says JT says, have you guys ever hit the wall like at 20 miles in a marathon? Yeah.
Yes.
And if so, yes, I. And if so, how can you tell if it's from the lack of fueling or just enough or just not enough muscle conditioning? In the moment, you think it's all death and you're dying, and that's it. And it doesn't matter what it is. It just feels like crap, and you slowly watch your time slip away from you. All your hopes and dreams for the last 12, 14, or 16 weeks. You just watch other people go get it.
You remember that movie? You ever see that movie, The Never Ending Story? In the darkness is chasing. The darkness has swallowed you in, and that is it. You are part of the nothing at that point.
Have you ever been swallowed up? Shout out TD Jakes.
And yeah, so
You can't really tell is the answer to the question.
I think in hindsight, in hindsight, like
in hindsight, you
for
can, I
me,
guess.
I think it's been fueling for the past couple of races because I know I've been fit, so it's not a muscle thing. It's I think it's a feeling thing for me. But that's all. Again, it's all just my best guess.
Yeah. So quick maths. 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour is the goal if you think it is fueling. So I think a Morton 100 has 29 grams of carbohydrates. So you need at least two and a half of those per hour to get you to that 60 to 90 range. I've been using Scratch Super High Carb. I've been carrying a bottle for the last few marathons. And I feel like that's helped me quite a bit.
Big
but
time.
Also,
that's a hack.
As far as muscle conditioning, sometimes you may cramp or you might, you feel like your legs just run out of juice. That could be a conditioning thing, or that also could be a hydration thing. So also on top of the carbohydrates, you want to make sure you're getting, I think the recommendation is at least 300 milligrams of carbohydrate, of electrolyte, per hour. So if you can find some Noon or Liquid IV or any of these hydration multipliers.
Scratch has got their hydration. Yeah,
absolutely. Salt tab, salt stick, anything with salt, sodium. You want to get those electrolytes because if you're a heavy sweater, you're going to be expelling electrolytes.
And you're not even, because some people who are heavy sweaters doesn't actually mean they lose a lot of salt in their sweat. So technically, like for me, I think what I'm gonna do eventually is I had a conversation with somebody that runs ultras and marathons. They went and got a sweat test, and it like the amount of sweat that she said she lost, it was almost like she didn't even know how she had run what she's run in the past up to that point. Like, because you can not sweat much at all and lose a lot of salt in the sweat that you do lose. So maybe check that out too if you're having problems. And I think that's what I'm gonna do next, just to see what's really going on.
I think there's like patches you can get, like Nix or even Gatorade, I think has something like that now. Like, so you can test from home instead of having to like go to like a lab.
Yeah, I heard the government is selling tests to Russia and stuff, so you never know. But they say that the at-home tests are questionable. But if you can get like a lab test to really hone it in, I think if you're super into it like we are, it could be worth its weight in salt, if you will. No pun intended.
Yeah, in hindsight, you just gotta see what you did. If you look back and say, "Wow, I didn't take much fuel, I didn't take much carbs," then that's probably it. If you literally only drank water and carbs and you cramped, then we probably need some electrolytes. You just probably gotta play with it and see like what's what. Look at the results, see what happened,
and the conditions of the day too. Like, again, I hate to harp on this, but this past Boston, I think everybody was prepared and they had their fueling strategy, and then the sun came out and just kind of like disrupted people's plans. And that happens like when you guys were out in New York and it was super hot, the first New York marathon. Like, just some days, just the weather and the day's just not going to cooperate, and you're going to hit no matter how well prepared you are. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right?
And the wall is a power puncher. The wall doesn't throw jabs. It is a knockout artist,
for sure.
The wall, the wall in the marathon is prime Mike Tyson, for sure. Yes. But yeah. So thanks everybody for tapping in. We try to wrap this thing up around certain times just to make sure we don't get too crazy with the pod. But yeah, thanks for tapping in. Alexis says, is Tommy going to tell us what his cryptic registration story was all about?
Alexis, he told me.
I'm gonna guess. He's gonna do the dopey challenge at Disney next year. Right?
Actually, Gary, I've been told that after Tuesday, Tommy decided to throw his hat in the ring for the presidential, He's gonna run a presidential campaign in 2028. So
different type of race. Different type of race.
vote for Tommy Rowe.
Yeah.
Hey, that don't even sound that bad though if you think about it.
It don't sound that bad when you don't think about
it. Right. Yeah. So thank you everybody. Oh, what is Tommy? So. All right. So it's supposed to be somewhat. I was trying to keep it low. I guess I shouldn't have put the cryptic story. So because all of you guys are in the whole, PR project mix, appreciate you. So I guess I could just say it here and then, yeah. So next year when, I'll be doing some training, a little bit different. I've been running marathons lately. I've been doing obviously over time, done halves, fulls and 5Ks, 10Ks, stuff like that. More faster type stuff. AK. Next year, sure, AKs too. Next year, I'm trying to get it out here, and I was a little nervous. So okay, so